Trey Fullen, if you're here, go ahead and turn on your video and come on the screen and let's pour into these folks. Trey. All right.
What's up, Mr. Tom Truong?
Nice to see you. I think I've made you co-host, yes? So you can share your screen if you want.
I believe so, yes. I don't have a screen to share though. It's all right here, baby.
Sounds good. It's all right there. There's my buddy, there's my friend. Every time I see this guy, we give each other the biggest, fattest hugs ever, right, man?
Find the mute button here. No, dude, we've got video evidence of me, I think, carrying you down a beach in Cabo in my arms, man. So yeah, we get the biggest hugs.
There you go. All right. So guys, this last section for this third section in Big Win Wednesday is about building a revenue share organization and how to build it fast. And we bring the best of the best who've built organizations around the locally, nationally, globally. I love to get Trey. I love to hear Trey's story and how he can bring us up to speed, what he's been doing with eXp Realty, the platform. Trey lives in Charlotte, North Carolina. Is that right, man?
Charlotte, absolutely.
Charlotte, North Carolina. Why don't we get right into it, Trey? Tell us your story, and I'm going to zip up, and you're going to basically teach us rev share.
Let's go. Yeah, I got 4 steps to freedom for you guys tonight. So I appreciate every single one of you being here. I'm super stoked to share whatever wisdom and value I can with you guys. So yep, like Tom said, born and raised out of Charlotte, North Carolina. I tell my people I'm a member of God's Special Forces. I'm someone who made it through everything that I shouldn't have. I tell people I've grown up in sales, since 6 years old, had the lemonade stand, Boy Scout popcorn, everything under the sun, sales, retail, high ticket item, one call closing. And I had a mentor tell me to get a real estate license at a point in time where I was kind of seeking something. Because I had also been a baseball player. That was my real love my entire life. I played through college, had an opportunity to coach, be a program director for 5 or 6 years afterwards. And I was getting paid, but I wasn't getting paid enough to pay rent, let alone make the impact in the world I felt like I was born to create. And so I took this mentor's advice to get my real estate license, started building my business at Keller Williams, saw this opportunity in April 2019 when there were about 16,000 agents inside of eXp, came over here and I have not looked back. So today I run an international team with a partner of mine, Mr. Tyler Royke. Some of you guys know him. My brother from another mother. He lives in Texas and I'm from North Carolina. So kind of cool to think that we can run a team together as co-team leaders with agents literally from Hawaii to New York and in Canada as well. So really, really blessed to be here, to be in the top 1% of agent attractors within this company. I've personally sponsored well over 50 agents. I've got 45 currently active FLAs here today. And I want to pour some value into you guys, because if you build this out, if you build revenue share for your life, which you can do alongside everything we've always done, helping people buy and sell property, you're going to create something for your life, not just today, but something that outlives you. So a true legacy. So is anybody up for that? Anybody want to get that rolling tonight if it's not already rolling?
I'm up for that, Trey. I'd love for you to take a step back just a bit and maybe explain to the folks who are brand new to this organization or might be a guest on the call and talk about at a high level, what is revenue share? Where does it come from?
Absolutely.
And then you can get into it. Yep.
Does anybody like referral fees? Like, especially when you're the one sending out the referral, like collecting a referral fee, you just make one phone call, you get paid. I think every agent does. So ask yourself this: if you could replace your income in referral fees and not have to perform the actual job, would you do it? And if you did, what would the time that's freed up, mean to you and your family? What would you use that for? Because that's what revenue share is. It's referral fees that are not just paid in one time, right? When one transaction, one client's handed out, but they're referral fees that are paid in perpetuity. As we attract agents to this company, we share opportunity. Some people will see value in that. When they come to the company, they're asked, hey, who do we have to thank for you joining our firm? And that's when they would name you if you're the person making that introduction, bringing them over. And then now eXp is going to pay you a referral fee on every deal that agent ever closes, where they pay a split into the company. When normally that split would just be kept by the broker forever. Now we're sharing that back. We share 50% of our top line gross revenue that we take in company wide with our agents here. And it's not just you building it. We're all about collaboration. We're all about helping each other. That's why we're all on a Zoom call on a Wednesday evening, pouring into our agents, our guests, everybody who's on this call. And so they can help you build this. There are several levels that we pay those referral fees out on. And it's a way to build a residual or recurring income alongside of your commission, your transactional based business on top of the equity that we're awarded by selling those houses. It's a third piece that kind of helps get off the roller coaster of real estate. And if you really build something, can truly unlock freedom unlike you've ever seen for your life. And it's willable too. That's why we talk about legacy, baby. Does that hit the nail that I need to hit there, Tom?
Perfect, man. Go right at it now. Thank you. I just wanted to just set the groundwork for folks. Yes, go.
Absolutely. No, I want to make sure nobody's like, what the heck are we talking about? So how do we do this? Right. And there's so many different people in this company that have made, a really big business out of this, right? They focused on pouring into other people. They focused on building their organization. There's a lot of different ways to skin the cat. At the end of the day, it's just like getting property sold, right? We get our clients, our buyers, our sellers through essentially attraction, right? We got to get out there. It's not about who you know, it's about who knows you, and adding value to them, building relationships. Really, if you look at any kind of lead generation, doing business, it all boils down to building relationships, having conversations with people. So I want to come on here tonight, add as much value as I can, simplify the process, because there's so many different blueprints you can go off of. I think this is the most simple. I think this is the most effective. And I think it's the most genuine and authentic. And authenticity is the highest level of vibration. And you got to be vibrating at those high levels if you want to attract people that are vibrating at those high levels too. So can we get cameras on? I feel like we got a lot of people in here, not a ton of cameras. I would really enjoy it. I would appreciate you guys if I can get a little more facial feedback here. So if you want to turn your camera on, hit that button. We'll keep it interactive here. But is anybody excited? If you got your camera on, give me a hands up, a thumbs up, screen, move around. There we go. Anybody excited to build this? Okay, cool. So I want to give you guys a little hint on where we're at in the year right now. Does anybody know the season we are in? And I'm not asking like fall, winter, or spring. Does anybody know what season we are currently in? Let me pull the chat up too, so I can keep an eye on that.
Growth season.
Growth season, absolutely. It's always growth season, though.
Prime time recruiting season.
It's recruiting season, which I love calling it moving season, right?
Moving season. I like that.
Moving season, right? This is when agents move, right? So we're getting towards the end of the year. It kind of kicks off around Labor Day. Things kind of slow down from the pipeline, the transactions they're doing, and they start reflecting on their business, especially as we get into the holidays. Guess what everybody's going to have to do? They're going to have to answer those questions from their friends and family. How's real estate going? And some people are excited to give that answer. Some are not. And we need to help those people, right? Some people are looking, they're reflecting and saying something has to change. And so this is the time of year where they can actually put some focus on that. And when most agents, if they're going to change brokerages, are going to do it in this part of the year. So this is the time to really double down on building relationships. All right, I'm going to give you, just because I've got so much to share, I don't know that I'll even get through it all in 30 minutes here. So I want to give you the 4 bullet points of how to build this agent attraction business. And I'm going to hit as much as I can and go into detail on these 4 for you guys as well. So number 1, it's connect. All right. We do this already, right? And don't overcomplicate this. Your goal with step 1 is to just connect with agents. So what is the definition of a connection? Do you know them, their name? Have you seen their face? Do they know you? Do they know your name? Do they know you are a living, breathing human being? And have they seen your face? And also, do you know each other are in real estate? Because as long as that criteria is there, the connection's been made. You don't even have to have a whole conversation. We just need to be intentionally connecting with real estate agents, which we already do as we show property, as we call listing agents up, as we go to open houses and broker opens and networking events. We'll talk all kinds of stuff about that. But step 1 is simply connect with people. Lots of ways to do that. I'll give you guys a lot on that too. Step 2 is to build relationships. So you've got the connection. Right now, you actually need to build a relationship with that person, right? You need to get to know them better. You need to understand them. They need to understand you. I love asking powerful questions. I think that's really where the building the relationship goes into high gear. It's when we start asking powerful questions about this person, why they're in real estate, what they're excited for, how's their business looking, where do they want to go, what are the needs and obstacles they're doing. That's really what it's about, getting to know each other. And you don't even necessarily have to have a ton of real estate conversation. You just want to build that rapport, build that trust, really get to know each other. And the best thing I can tell you on this, guys, is be vulnerable. The more vulnerable you are, the more transparent you are as you're talking and connecting with other people, the more vulnerable they're going to be with you, and really open up. And you can really get to know each other in that sense. Number 3, as you're building relationships, I'll throw this in here too real quick. You need to know enough about that person to have a reason to invite them to do something, right? So as we're connecting with people, as we're building relationships, we need to have a next step to help people. And I think it's really good to share an opportunity with people. Hey, come look at this opportunity, this brokerage model that's changing the way real estate agents are paid. There's all kinds of ways to throw that. I think it's even better to introduce a person to a person than it is to introduce a person to an opportunity, or a person to a company, or a person to a firm, right? So as I'm having one-on-ones, I'm going to get to know these people. I'm going to understand what is important to them. And I'm going to anchor my invitation for them to come meet a partner of mine based around that thing. All right. Hopefully that makes sense. If not, we'll talk more about it. And then number 4, it's a 3-way call. And so many people do not close the loop, do not close the cycle. They make a great connection. They build a great relationship. They introduce them to an opportunity, and then they never have the 3-way call. And they wonder why agents are just out there, just kind of floating in the abyss, dying on the vine. It's because the 3-way call was not completed. That edification is so important. So Tom is hooking you guys up. He's putting the bullet points there in the chat for you. I would highly recommend taking notes. So let's kind of dive into this. I would start with saying, agent attraction is called agent attraction for a reason. All right. When you guys call up a for sale by owner and all you talk about is, listing the property and commission, what do you think they think you care about? Yourself, right? Well, when these agents hear you talking about EXP and have you seen our stock and have you seen our rev share, they don't care because it's not important to them, right? And they think that you only care about making more money yourself off of their back. Right. So we got to stop chasing. I would highly recommend stop EXPing all over people. Like, even remove those 3 letters from your vocabulary. You guys, if you know me, I'm known for the hat. Right. So I don't even have to say it. It's right in front of them. Right. And they're going to bring it up sooner or later. That's what you guys will find. If you just back down from bringing EXP up first, they're going to bring it up before you normally would have anyways. Make yourself attractive in every way possible too. So again, it's called agent attraction, not agent chasing. Well, we don't just want to be attractive as far as building our sales organization. We also want to be attractive in every part of our life. So, get to the gym, get to, working on your mindset, get to working on your emotional state. Oh, I've got my light going off here too. Here, we'll get this back on. Technical difficulties, 1 second. But build yourself out. Right? Make yourself attractive in every way possible, because how you do anything is how you do everything. Nobody's going to follow you. If you're a 400-pound overweight person, they're going to wonder, well, shoot, how could this person be telling me about opportunity and being successful when they're not even taking care of their own personal health, right? So you got to make yourself attractive as possible in every single way. I would also say, get to the events. That's how me and Mr. Tom Truong get all our hug time in, man. So there's 2 major corporate events each year. There's also a couple that are put on by an awesome person in our company, Brent Gove. Get to these events. I will tell you, hands down, is the most impactful thing that has ever happened to me in my business, was getting to these events in person with the top leaders, because that's where they're at, guys. The people who are building this out at the biggest level, they are at the big events. So get there to commingle, rub some elbows, come say, hey, we'll take a picture together, we'll chop it up, we'll pour into each other. That's what it's for. I will give you guys a success formula, and then we'll really kind of get into breaking down those 4 bullet points with the rest of the time we have. So the success formula is like this, and I got it from BC, baby. Anybody know Brian Culhane? He's got such a good story. Co-founder of EXP, first ever president of EXP as well. He's like a brother from another mother too. But number 1, you want to 1x your success, you got to think it first. There's a guy named Earl Nightingale. This is a bonus piece of value. If you have not listened to The Strangest Secret by Earl Nightingale, I would highly recommend taking 30 minutes out of your day before you go to sleep tonight and giving that a listen. Just type it into YouTube, Earl Nightingale, The Strangest Secret. He talks about, the problem with man, why people aren't successful. It's because they don't think, right? But that's just 1x. Now 10x, we want to speak it out loud. We've got to claim it, right? You've got to think it first. You want to 10x it, you got to speak it. You want to 100x that, you've got to write it down. And then it's all about taking massive action. If you guys follow that and you apply it to your agent attraction business and to your retail sales business as well, you are going to see things literally manifested in your life. It sounds crazy, hokey pokey. I grew up kind of like, thinking this was all BS, and I promise you it is not. It is as real as it gets. So really get down to it, build those relationships, follow the success formula. So when we talk about connecting, the most genuine connections create the best results. So for example, if I call Tom Truong up and I have no idea who Tom Truong is, I just pull him off a list. And I've done this, guys. I've spent 2 hours a day for 100 days straight cold calling agents. I had no clue who they were. I just picked them off of a random list and picked them up and called them. If I just call them and I don't have a good reason to connect, it's going to be an awkward call. And I'm probably going to end up talking about EXP and pissing this person off. However, if I go to, let's say I go to my friend Dick Lee and I say, hey, Dick, who's the best real estate agent man? I need your help. Who's the best agent And he says, dude, you got to talk to Tom. He's probably the best person I know. And he might even give me 2, 3, 4 others. Well, now when I pick up that phone and I call Tom, it's a completely different conversation. I'm not saying, hey, Tom, it's Trea here. You heard of EXP before? No, I'm saying, hey, Tom, it's Trea. You probably don't know me, but we got a mutual friend in common, Dick Lee. You know Dick? And he's gonna be like, yeah, I love that guy. Oh, dude, if you love that guy, he loves you. You should have heard what he was talking. He was talking you up, man. He said, I definitely had to connect with you. I'm in real estate too. He said you were as well. Boom. Now we take the conversation and run. Do your homework. Guys, you can literally find agents anywhere. You take a rock, you throw it, you're going to hit like 50 of them. They're online, they're offline, they're in the phone book, they're on social media. Go add friends. Right? You can even train the algorithm to put like the people you may know section on Facebook. That'll start popping up with just agents if you just start adding agents as friends, right? Go at them. If they accept the friend request, connection made, step one done, right? And do your homework. Look at their timeline. Look at their feed. What are they involved in? Engage with them. We talked about referrals. You can ask anybody in the world. That's the best script right there. I got it from Scott Lewis, Disruptor Nation like founder, baby. Hey, I need your help. Who is the most professional real estate agent you know? I would highly recommend every single person while you're on this call listening to me talk. If you're not taking notes, at least go to your Facebook Messenger, your social media, and send that message to every single person you know. Send that as a text to every single contact in your phone. Hey, I need your help. Who's the best real estate agent you know? Watch the responses roll in. And I just told you what to do next with that. Referrals too from people around the business, right? Lenders, title companies, investors, home inspectors, photographers, anyone that is around the business of real estate is going to know a lot of agents, right? So ask them the same thing. Agents that you're doing business with every day, get to those broker opens, show more houses, go do just an agent walkthrough on something, you know, that could start a conversation. Again, we talked about online and then events in person, and pretty much anywhere you can think of. Like I said, if you can talk to somebody, walk down the street, just ask them, hey, who's a real estate agent? You know, they're probably going to give you at least one name. So I would highly recommend speed to implementation on that. Go get you guys some referrals. And they're going to give you a response here. They're going to give you a response of nothing. Like they won't say anything back to you. That's okay. They'll say they don't know any. And that's a great opportunity for you to step and be like, well, you know, one, that's me, right? Because we're all real estate agents. And number three, they could give you a list of one or more. And then you just rock and roll with it. The other thing they might do is they might ask you why. And why are we doing this? We're doing it to network. So, hey, that's all you tell them. Hey, I just want to network with great people. And if you call someone, if you're ever talking to an agent and they're like, why are you calling me? Guys, don't tell them I'm with EXP. I'd like to share this opportunity with you. Say, hey, I'd like to network, right? Because if they're a successful real estate person, guess what they're doing? Professionals network. They all do it. So if they don't want to network, might not be a person you want to be in business with anyways. Number two, build relationships. It is way better to do it sooner than later. And we want to spend our time when we're connected with an agent. The best thing you can do is set up a one-on-one meeting. So once I'm connected with somebody, I might have what I call a volley, where I engage with a couple of their posts online. I have some DMs back and forth, and maybe I have a quick phone call with them here or there. And then at some point in time, I'm going to be like, hey, Tom, we need to chop it up, man. I got to hear your story. And they're going to agree to it. Like, guys, if you keep the pressure low, then the pressure will be low on them too. Just keep it simple. Hey, I would love to chop it up. This is the best script for getting a one-on-one set. Now you have a one-on-one with this agent. You're going to spend this time not talking about EXP, but getting to know each other. It's the only agenda for the call. I just want to get to know Tom better, right? So I'm going to sit there. I'm going to ask Tom some of the questions he put in the chat for you. And I kind of rambled off earlier. I'm going to get to understand two really important things. What are Tom's needs and what are Tom's goals? Because if I understand what he wants and what he needs, and I understand where he wants to go, and I understand the obstacles that he faced right now to get there, then I can come back and I can advance a solution. But if I just start advancing solutions before I understand Tom's needs and wants and goals and obstacles that he's encountering, now I look like an idiot, right? Because I'm just shooting in the dark. So if you have that one-on-one and you do it well and you ask powerful questions, you will know by the end of that conversation what is most important to that person. And I'll ask them. I might have an agent say, hey, you know what, Trey, I did 5 million last year in production. I really want to get to 10 million. And I'll ask them, is that the number one most important goal for you in your business? And they say, yeah, it is, getting you to 10 million. And I'll tell them, hey, you know, if you're telling me the number one most important thing to you in your business is going from 5 to 10 million in production this year, I have someone you have to meet. What are you doing Thursday at 4? Boom. Now we're introducing them to a person, guys. And guess what? They know why. Because if you guys have ever invited somebody to come onto like the Thursday overview or to a lunch and learn and they didn't show up, you know why they didn't show up? Because they looked at their calendar and they said, yeah, I don't know why I would be there. And they didn't go. When you anchor it back to the need or the goal that you found out about in that one-on-one, now when they look at their calendar, like, oh crap, I want to double my production. That's the most important thing to me. It doesn't matter what else is on the calendar. They're not missing that meeting. You guys seeing the difference in the dynamic here? So build those relationships. It's so important. Add value to them. Invite them to stuff like Big Win Wednesday. It's all free value. Invite them to the events. Those do super heavy lifting. Anything you can share, like what I share with you guys, the strangest secret. If I'm talking to people and I ask them, hey, why are you in real estate? They're like, I want to make money. And I'm like, great. Why though? And they're like, I don't know. I'm going to give them that. Like it's a free value add. Like have a tool belt of value things that have nothing to do with inviting them or recruiting them to come to our firm. Give that out, build a relationship. When the time's right, make the introduction all around what's important to them. They'll show up, they'll get the exposure, right? And that's what number 3 is. We're just inviting. Is there any questions? Because I kind of hit it right there. Any questions on what I'm saying about how to make the invitation? Because you guys probably haven't ever heard someone explain it to you this way. Inviting a person.
I think you stunned the audience. You
Okay.
brought fire. I think we're all speechless.
Well,
Tony.
let's keep going then. Oh, you got one, Tony?
Tony had a question, I think.
No, it just says it's excellent. It's a different perspective. It's a great, simple approach, and I'm the student right now.
Let's go. Let's go.
Me too.
We'll apply it. Go test it. I mean, if it doesn't work for you, it doesn't work for you, but I promise it's going to work for you because you're being genuine, guys. We're coming from contribution. We're enriching others first. We're looking to give before we place our own tax on somebody, right? And that changes everything. So I'll give you an acronym to actually live that out by. It's READ. READ. R stands for relate. You got to build a relationship. You got to relate with them. You got to get vulnerable so they'll get vulnerable and you can really understand what makes them tick, what's important to them. Right. And that kind of ties into the E here too, which is E, establish a need. Once you're building the relationship, you're establishing a need on top of that. Once we've established the need, now we got A, we can advance a solution, right? The A does not come before E or R, right? R and E have to be there first. Now we can advance a solution, and then we dedicate commitment, right? That's the D. So relate, establish a need, advance a solution, dedicate commitment. If you follow it in that process and kind of with these sentiments I'm bringing to the call tonight, you guys are going to see the amount of amazing connections you have go through the roof. And if you talk to any major attractor in our company right now, people that are out there talking to agents every single day, that's what they do. They will tell you they are having some of the best conversations they have ever had. People who have been in real estate growth for decades are saying they're having the best conversations they've ever had in this business right now. And I promise if you follow what I'm teaching you, you're going to have some of those amazing conversations too. And people are open. Like I said, it's moving season. Now, once you've got that done, you guys, you got to have the 3-way call. Right. This is number 4. You've got to complete this cycle. You've got a loop that's open. And if you do not close it, you cannot expect results. All right. So building the relationship is the biggest part of this. And it's the most fun part of this because you can literally, those one-on-ones I was talking about, you can do them with people who are local to you in person. You can go play golf. You can grab coffee. You can grab lunch, breakfast, beer, whatever you want to. Right. Go hiking, go work out with somebody as long as you can have a conversation. If they're not geographically close to you, because we can do this in all 50 states and 23 countries, actually, we can get on Zoom calls and have these one-on-ones. And as we're getting to know them, it should be fun, right? And then when we get to know them, we're also setting ourselves up for this 3-way call because the 3-way call is a personality match. It's a story match, right? You want to find, all right, who's going to be the most similar to this person that I can put them in front of that's already done what they want to do or is already like made a huge thing happen with this opportunity that this person, wants to do. Like you're just playing matchmaker at this point, right? And if you haven't built a relationship, you're not going to know how to do that. You're not going to know anything about them. So build a relationship. Again, I'm going to pound on that. It's all about the relationship. And we also get out there and decide who we work with. So if you are talking to someone and they are negative, you don't got to worry about that, right? And it also takes you being negative out of the picture too when you do the 3-way call because you can focus on this relationship. You can focus on adding value and never once ask them to join EXP because my organization, I built that without ever asking a single person to join EXP. I've never done it and I won't start tomorrow with anyone, right? So it allows you to kind of leverage Tom. So I might have somebody who is actually a member of ARIA, right? And I'm like, oh, I've got the perfect person. So I'm going to call up Tom. Hey, Tom, can you do a 3-way call? Tom's like, absolutely. So I'll get him on the call. I'll introduce the person to Tom, edify him in about 15 seconds. And then I'll take about 45 seconds to edify Tom, give him the authority on the call. And then I just shut up and I let Tom be the big bad wolf. Well, we're going to play good cop, bad cop. We get to be good cop. Tom gets to be bad cop, right? And he's going to come in and he's going to close that down. He's going to ask the tougher questions that might be tough for us to do if we don't want to disrupt the relationship that we're building, right? So it's going to allow you to really do the easiest part of this entire process. Spend 60 seconds introducing 2 people and then just hit the mute button on your phone. Like, don't even give yourself the chance to jump into that conversation because all you're going to do is disrupt what that senior partner of yours is helping you with. And I'll tell you, if you guys need to figure out like, who should I connect this person to? I've got this great agent. I've got him through steps 1, 2, and 3, Trea. I have no idea who would be good for a 3-way call. Well, just send me a message on Workplace Chat. Send me a message on Instagram. We'll find somebody for you. I've spent my time building relationships with like people like Tom, all the way up to Glenn Sanford, amazing people across this company. We'll play matchmaker for you. Leverage your upline, your senior partners that you're inside of this company with, because they've done the same thing, I promise. And they're going to help you. If someone who's in your senior partnership can't help you, they're going to know who will. And I would just end it with this, guys. We are barely getting started. Okay. A lot of people, if question here for three-way calls, would you be offended if I introduce you to my business partner? That's one way you could put it. The way I like to phrase the dialogue is as soon as step 3 is over, so as soon as they've come to a live explained, right, which is what I highly recommend, whether it's in person at a lunch and learn or whether it's on the Wednesday overview or the Thursday overview. Tom, I'm sure we can probably drop these links for people before we leave here tonight, but we do these every single week. So you want to get someone to the live overview. As soon as they jump off that call where they've just seen the opportunity, got introduced to your partner, you're going to call them up and you're going to ask them, hey, don't ask them what they thought about it. Some people don't think. And instead, ask them what excited you the most. And they're going to tell you, listen intently, this is important, right? What excited you the most? What did you see the most opportunity with? And if they're not asking you questions, ask them, hey, what questions do you have? You do not want to get into the weeds on what excited them or what questions they had. You do not want to answer those. That's what you're going to leverage now to then set the three-way call with. So I might call up Dorothy. Hey, Dorothy, thank you so much for taking the time to jump on the call today. I love seeing you in there. Tell me, Dorothy, what excited you the most? And Dorothy might say, you know what? That stock was incredible. You know, my grandfather got stock in IBM or whatever, you know, and I see the power in ownership. You know, so I really like that. And I'm like, okay, cool. Hey, Dorothy, do you have any questions? Really just would like to learn more about how that stock works. Okay, awesome. If I could get Tom to jump on a private call with you, Dorothy, and make sure you understand how to leverage the stock and equity opportunity at the highest level and answer any other questions you might have. If I could get him to take 15 minutes out of his day to jump on that call, would you make time for that call too? That's how I set it up. And then I just get it done, put it on the calendar. But guys, yeah, we're just getting started. That's it. Now, if you look at how many agents are in the United States, it's about 2 million best guess. We're going to lose a lot of those this year. And most of those were not even in production anyways. It's okay. They're just waiting for their realtor dues to expire. They've already paid up for the rest of the year. So they're hanging around, but they're going to be gone. We're at 86,000 agents globally. All right. We are barely getting started. We have like, what is that? 3% market share or something here in the US. Best guess globally is about 20 to 25 million real estate agents. We are just barely starting to get started on the global side of things too. So get out there, build these relationships. The timing is about to be right. Think about it as a bank. All right. Think about it as a bank. Every time you guys have ever opened a checking account, or say you go do it tomorrow. Say you just walk into the bank tomorrow. Hey, I want to open up a checking account. The bank teller's gonna be like, okay, yeah, absolutely. We'll do that for you. Do you want to put any money in? And you tell them, no, I just like to open the account. Right. And you leave and you come back tomorrow. And you walk in there and you say, hey, I'd like to make a withdrawal. What are they going to tell you? Help me out here, Tom. Role play with me here. What are they going to tell you?
Well, why? Why do you want to make a withdrawal?
I would like some money, Tom. Can I make a withdrawal from my checking account I opened yesterday?
Yeah, you can. Sure. It's your right to withdraw.
Okay. But I didn't put any money in there yesterday, Tom. I opened the checking account. I put $0 in it. I come back tomorrow and I ask you, hey, can I make a withdrawal? What are you going to tell me as the banker?
You don't have anything to withdraw.
Oh, and if I come back the next day and I ask you the same question, but I haven't made any deposits, what are you going to tell me?
I'm sorry, Trey, you have nothing to withdraw.
But what if I've been a loyal banker client with you for 5 years? I waited 5 years and I come back on the 5th year and I ask you the same question. No deposits, but I've been a loyal person. I've been here for 5 years, Tom.
Yeah, you really haven't added value to your account. So there's nothing to withdraw, Trey. I'm so sorry.
Your relationships are the same way, guys. You cannot go ask for money. You cannot go withdraw if you have never deposited anything in there. All right. You guys have to go out and make the deposits. And you know what you love more, Tom, is it's moving season. And there is a market shift on right now. So guess what time it is for all of us that have been making deposit after deposit after deposit after deposit. It is time to make a run on the banks, not just a withdrawal. We're about to go Ocean's 11 in here. All right. And we are going to take it all out because it is time. And if you haven't started making deposits, don't think that you've already missed the boat. All right. Don't be like, oh gosh, we already had 86,000 agents. I don't have time for what Trey said in building a relationship. I'll just go try to do it real fast, right? And just ask people to come over, run a big numbers game. Can you catch fish that way? Yes, you just won't catch that many, and it'll be very miserable approaching it that way. But if you go out, I promise you have time. Take your time, build good connections, build good relationships, add as much value to them as you can. And when the opportunity is right, take the initiative to withdraw and ask them, would they be willing to meet a partner of yours that can help them with what they told you was most important? And don't even ask them if they're willing. Tell them you have to meet this person. There's no choice. You've got to meet this person. If you're telling me what's important to you is most important to you, you got to meet this person. But Tom, I appreciate you, man, for bringing me on here.
Dude, you
I hope
brought
everybody
the
got some value
fire.
tonight.
I love it. I love it. Can you talk any faster? They asked.
Well, I can't. I put it all in. I knew I had 30 minutes to jam in what I normally talk like an hour plus on. So I went as quick as I could, dropped it all out there.
I think you've captivated the audience, man. You certainly captivated me. One more time, I'm going to type in the chat for folks. Read. R for relate. E for
Establish a need.
Establish a need. A.
Advance a solution.
Advance a solution. You guys hopefully can write this down. I'm typing it for you. And then D.
Dedicate commitment.
Dedicate commitment. Boom. Okay. I love that. I'd never heard that before. I learned something new today. You are awesome. Exactly.
Let's
Guys,
go.
if guys and gals, if you've been pouring into people, just like Trea says, if you've been pouring into them and helping them and inviting them to events and inviting them to training and all this stuff, it is time to make a run on the banks. It's the time to get your withdrawals and go ask for it. I totally agree with that. I love that analogy. This is the time to take those withdrawals out, right? I love it. All right, guys, questions. Who's got questions for Trea? Let's go. Questions, comments. We'll do this for another 10, 15 minutes and then we're done. Daniel Lang, go.
Well, I think, adding to number 5, I know you had the 4 points. I think Scott Lewis for number 5 is FU, right? Follow up. We have to follow up. But I guess that's where we're going for the bank, right? We're making the deposit now.
Well, not necessarily. The following up at some point will be a withdrawal, but sometimes you need to deposit more. Sometimes you need to add more value to these people. Sometimes you just need to be a positive person in their life because their timing isn't right. And so just because you've got money in the bank doesn't mean it's the right time to withdraw it. So again, I kind of go back to like your tool belt of value. Like what are things that you find value out of in life? Like it could be anything. It could be like if you're a bicyclist, you might have some sort of bicycle value you can add to people. If you're talking real estate or mindset or finances or fishing or whatever it is, like what do you have that's valuable like to you, right? Because if it's valuable to you, that's probably valuable to someone else. So find whatever you can, especially free things are better, and give them out. So like if we have any real estate, do we have any real estate veterans on the call? Is anybody a veteran, military veteran and a real estate agent? I want to hook you guys up. So this is one of the things I'm doing right now. Does anybody know what Cardone University is?
Yeah.
It's Grant Cardone sales training. People have spent thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars for that over the years, like ridiculous amounts of money. I can get any military veteran free access to Cardone U right now. So if you're a real estate agent and you're a military veteran, hit me up, shoot me a message on Instagram. It's just Trey Fullen, and I will send that over to you. That's one of the tools I've got on my tool belt right now. The Earl Nightingale, The Strangest Secret. It might be a book recommendation. It might be inviting them to a church. It might be anything. Just have a lot of things that you can give out as value. So that's where the follow-up comes into play. Scott Lewis is a big proponent of letting him know about news. I think that's really good too. Anytime there's big news with the company or in real estate or, hey, have you seen this? So kind of thing. I think that's a great conversation starter, a great follow-up tool. But then also just anytime you got value or an event to invite them to. So if you can give them something of value or you can invite them to something of value, that's what the follow-up should be, I think.
Awesome. Well, there. Any more questions, folks? Comments?
I will add just real quickly. Man, that was a fantastic presentation, by the way. But to circle back to when you had mentioned, agents that now the dues are coming due, and so this new referral program is a great way to transition them over if they haven't done any business, but you want to encourage them to at least stick it out. Pick up that phone call to people that you've attracted in the past that maybe not do much business. Maybe they're new agent or, heading towards retirement and they're just slowing down, but they don't, that $500 realtor fee and the MLS fees and all that, get them over to I helped an agent we had an agent she's retired, but she does referrals, and she was trying to give me a referral, and, and I'm like, well, come back to EXP, and, now you don't have to pay all these fees. You just pay $50 a month. And literally she was trying to refer me to an agent too. And I just said, look, Judith who's not here tonight. I wish she was, but I was just like, hey, Judith, her name is Marguerite. I was like, reach out to Judith who sponsored you in, and let's get you on board now for this referral so that you can still do referrals. And this agent that you want to attract, now you can put this agent who's a very young guy and pretty productive under you. And she signed up the same day. Judith drove there that evening and had her signed up. So, you know, just little things like that.
But you know what, you knew that was important to her, and that's the key of what I want to drive home here is like if you don't know anything about the person, you could have a great program in the referral program, which I think is awesome. If you guys haven't heard about that, it is an amazing thing that just launched. So it's right for the right person, right? It's again, it's a tool belt. Not everything is a nail. I'm not going to hit everything with a hammer, right? Some things require a drill or a screwdriver or a saw or a tape measure. I don't know, like there's different tools, right? So that's the key there, Philip, is you knew that would appeal to this person. It would solve a problem for them. What we get paid on, guys, is the size of the, not just our network, right? You guys have heard that, right? Your network is your net worth. No, that's an incomplete sentence. The size of your network and the size of the problems that you solve for them, the solutions that you bring to the table will determine your net worth. And that's what that is. It's a being able to recognize a problem that someone has, advance a solution, and being aware of, hey, we've got this solution, and also aware that, hey, they need that solution. Then boom, you just bring it together. Now it's not selling anything. Because they're like, you kind of mentioned like, hey, you want to kind of keep people in the game. I don't care. If someone wants to leave, I'm not here to convince you to be in real estate. But if someone's like, man, I really want to make this work, but I just don't see how it's going to because I can't pay my MLS dues, but I have this referral I can send, like, it's like, that's a perfect thing for that person. So good stuff, Philip. Did somebody else have a question too?
Sue had a question.
So I just wanted to ask you, when you started growing, how many hours, or what was the, like, you had a routine method of going at it?
Yeah. So day to day, I really kind of kicked off my growth, I would say, when Scott Lewis did the 100-day fast start, where we were all 2 hours a day cold calling. And that was pretty uneventful for me. Like I went through it, I did the work, I made a lot of really good connections because I kind of had this approach from the beginning. Like this has always been my MO when I'm teaching you guys tonight. So I made some really good connections, but I didn't really have anybody. I was like, man, I'm ready to join Trea. So, you know, I made a lot of good connections. And then what really changed was May of 2021. May of 2021, I made the decision about 6 months before that date. And I'm not saying, I want to preface this, I'm not saying this is what you need to do to build this, not at all, especially with the resources you have. But I personally knew that selling real estate, selling homes, buyers and sellers, it's cool, but it wasn't my passion. It wasn't my purpose. I am 100% here on this earth, and I've had every experience I had and am inside of this opportunity today to change lives, right? And the lives of professionals, not just clients. So I made the decision to step completely out of production, and I focus entirely on connecting with agents. So if you guys are like, how do I do this? What should my day-to-day look like? It's simple. It's very simple. You should spend about 10 to 20 minutes a day connecting with agents, doing step one, right? Which again, it could be as simple as just sitting on the couch watching TV, clicking add friend on Facebook. And as they accept those friend requests, those are connections. Or shooting a couple texts off, you know, asking, hey, who's a good real estate agent? You know, spend 10, 20 minutes a day connecting with those agents. And then at the end of the day, out of all those people you connected with, find the ones you like most and set one-on-one appointment per week. Start there. Start with one. Hey, can I set up one meeting, whether it's in person or on Zoom, with a real estate agent somewhere on planet Earth, and just get to know them a little bit better? Because if you start doing that consistently, I promise you are going to start putting people in front of this opportunity. So that's, if you're saying like, hey, how did my growth really take off? It's when I adopted that approach. Hey, let me slow down a little bit. Let me not focus on exposures to the opportunity. Let me focus on the number of one-on-one appointments that I set each week. And that's what I started filling my calendar with. Because once you do one, you realize, man, this only takes like 5 minutes. Like I did it last night. I've got an agent I've been connected with on social media forever, and he's a military veteran. So I hit him up. He's like, past 5 messages I've sent to him, just trying to throw value his way. Didn't even respond to him, just left me on red. And I shot him a message. I'm like, hey, you're a veteran, right? He's like, yeah. I'm like, here you go, man. Here's some free value. He's like, oh, dude, thanks. And then I was like, yeah, by the way, I would love to hear your story, man. We need to chop it up sometime. He's like, yeah, dude, let's do it on the 21st. And boom, it took 5 minutes with a person who wasn't responding to me to turn him into a one-on-one appointment set for next week. So, I mean, it's really like, if you want to know what to spend your time doing, that's what I would highly recommend. And then again, as the better you get at those one-on-one meetings, the better your questions are, the more you really dial in on getting to someone's core desires and core needs and core wants. Then it makes it really easy to be like, man, I got something or somebody to introduce you to.
I would like
Awesome.
to acknowledge.
Thank you.
I would like to acknowledge you on a couple of things. One, you go in for what is of value to that person, And that's what you bring in. Not the whole, you don't dump the whole kettle of fish on them.
Yep. And when they get exposed to EXP, to be clear, they are getting an A to Z presentation, but the entire conversation, the entire dialogue that I've had with them up until that point, and then after that call is all going to be what you said, Dorothy. It's all about what's important to them. And that's the same thing. Like right now, you guys should be pounding the crap out of FSBOs and expireds. And I teach the same exact dialogue when it comes to listings. And we've got people slamming more listing appointments than people going through Ricky Caruth's 0 to Diamond. Like, I teach the best dialogue in the world. Why? Because it's all about finding out what's important to that person. So number one, they start wanting to talk to you, because guess what? You're not talking about what's important to you. You're talking about what's important to them. So they want to talk. And then number two, like, oh, you know what? This person's bringing options, a tool belt to the table. They're not just a one trick pony. And that's where what Philip's bringing up. Guys, be plugged into the company, know what's happening, because then you've got a tool belt. And when you find out what's important to people, now it makes it a lot easier to have some reach outs. Like, if I didn't have the value piece that I can add with the veterans right now, hey, I don't have a real good reason to hit up my veteran agents, but now I do. There's no reason anybody's gonna be pissed off that I'm trying to go give them thousands of dollars of free training.
Awesome questions, guys. Hey, we got 4 minutes left, and then we're gonna be done for the evening. Go ahead, Tony.
I just wanted to commend you. It was a great training tonight. Thank you for contributing to each one of us. I was reminded last week, writing an offer on a property here in Idaho Falls, that you can't say the wrong thing to the right person. And the answers,
and you also can't say the right thing to the wrong person either.
Right. And the answers are in the questions that we ask, right? And so today, this is like a perfect opportunity to, when we're engaging with other agents, to just ask a couple of simple questions. And this, I'll make this really quick, but I just asked him, what's your biggest challenge with this market now, with the interest rates going up to 7.5%? And he said to me, my biggest challenge is recruiting agents to my team. And I said, oh, well, that's what I do best. Maybe we should get together and talk. And he says, I want to buy you lunch. And so he did. He invited us to go to lunch. Went to the nicest steak restaurant here in Idaho Falls last week. And I asked him, I texted him, I said, are you okay with me bringing my spouse? He said, for sure, bring your spouse. So Jennifer came. I didn't know that he was going to bring Christine, but his wife showed up. We broke bread together. Before we broke bread, he sat down. He goes, Tony, there's 2 objectives for our luncheon today. 1, I want to know everything you know about recruiting. And 2, why is EXP the brokerage for you? He's now within about 2 or 3 days of signing all the paperwork and bringing over a team of 8 agents. They did 141 deals last year. His goal is to do 200 this year. And it was just asking those couple of simple questions. What's your biggest challenge? And, that really, that's what led to that, that amazing luncheon. And now we're bringing them on. So, and I did a 3-way with Scott Lewis, and he nailed it. So
of course, Scott's gonna lay the hammer down. But no, if you show me what questions you ask people, I'll show you what your success level is going to be. So no, you're spot on, Tony. It's a great story.
If you show me the questions you are asking people, I will share with you what your success levels are. Love that, love that, love that. All right, folks, that's a wrap for season 2, episode 1, part 3 of Revenue Share Building on Steroids by Mr. Trea Fullen. This guy has personally introduced this business and attracted 45 frontline agents across the world. Trea, I can't thank you enough for bringing the fire tonight and pouring into us. There are still 30 of us on this call tonight, and it's late, man. I'm hungry. My stomach is growling, so I'm going to dinner. My wife has been cooking. I've been smelling that. Guys.
Oh, dude, no, don't let me be the reason Marissa's mad at you anymore.
No,
you got to get to that dinner.
Knows we pour into our team, and so do you and all of you. I know that. Tony, thank you for being here. Everyone else, I can't thank you enough for being here. John, thank you for hosting. Samantha, thank you for
thank you.
There's my lovely bride, Marissa. We're going to have some dinner.
Good. Get him out of here, Marissa.
Thanks, folks.
Thank you, Trey.
Hey, Trey, are you still doing Thursday Executive Overview?
Absolutely. ThursdayExecutiveOverview.com. If you guys need a place to get people to a live explain for step 3 there, just type that in. 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific. We do it every single week unless there's a big EXP event happening. That's only a couple times a year. So you can pretty much
How can you beat that? It's prime time agent attraction season every week. Wednesday Executive Overview, Thursday executive overview, and then online, and then talk to your folks, talk to your senior partners, your revenue share partners. There's no way you cannot build a massive business and capture massive market share. This is Tom Truong, over and out. Thank you, everybody. Good night.
Peace.
Bye,
Good
everyone.
night.